influx of people into big cities or spaces in general can cause ripple negative effects, and that is what we're going to be looking at today. Welcome. This is Mother Earth. My name is Success Caminus. Welcome back. Glad to have you join us back here on Mother Earth. We'll be talking about something that is very prevalent in our society today, especially from where we are speaking or bringing this program to you, which is the city of Lagos. We'll be talking about overpopulation and its negative effect on our society, and then waste management education, because where there are people, there is more waste. To do this with me is somebody that you're very familiar with, Barrister Ambassador Philip Obwesi. Thank you so much, sir.
You're a regular customer.
You see, when I find somebody who dishes it out as it is hot, as Nigerians will say, I'll keep coming back. So we've been having this discussion, you know, about air pollution. We went really deep into just talking about it in a way that the grassroots can understand and relate, and also participate in their little way, you know, to just cleanse our air as much as possible. So now we are moving on to talk about overpopulation and then waste management awareness in overpopulated cities. But let's start. I want us to start by, first of all, understanding what overpopulation is, and then we'll move into the causes of overpopulation.
When a space, when a given geographical space, a given territory is hosting more people than its normal population, it is said that that place is becoming overpopulated. So when a space or a geographical location like Surulere, where we are in now, it has a population of roughly, give or take, between 4 to 5 million people. Now, when the population begins to grow as a result of people migrating from some other locations into Surulere, the population will begin to expand, and when it expands, the space's capacity to withhold human beings is stretched. The infrastructural capacity to withhold more humans is stretched, and when that happens, we say that this place is becoming overpopulated. Now, the reason why we say it is overpopulated is because the city planners, those who planned the city, designed them in layouts and imputed infrastructure, certain infrastructures, including roads, schools, and so on and so forth. Those infrastructures were built with the population of the normal population in mind. So when they designed, for example, this area, and they know, give or take, that 500,000 people live within this area, they build a road that can accommodate, that can withstand the pressure from 500,000 people. They install pipe-borne water that can accommodate the pressure from 500,000 people. Now, electricity, they provide transformers enough to accommodate and bear the pressure from 500,000 people. But when our brothers and sisters, our extended families begin to come and join us here in Surulere, and every one of us, our megas sends for their younger ones from the villages, the churches brings in people, the schools bring in people, people take transfers from their places of work and come into Surulere, the population begins to expand. And when the population begins to expand more than the capacity of installed infrastructure to withstand, place is said to be overpopulated. So generally speaking, I will say that overpopulation simply means where a situation where more people inhabit a particular geographical space beyond the capacity of the place or beyond the estimated plan for that location.
I don't think it can be broken down any further.
Yeah, that is what it is.
With anybody that needs any more breaking down needs a spiritual touch, because it's as simple as ABC.
Yes,
now that he has explained it, I think we can now safely say that we understand what overpopulation is. But then we've been focusing on people coming into the space from other places. So aside that, what is the cause? What is another cause of overpopulation?
There are so many causes of overpopulation. We have mentioned people migrating from a different location into a particular location, but beyond issue population increase from migration, we can talk of increase in deaths. When there's a surge in the number of couples or families bearing children. That is why in some countries you see they peg childbirth to 1 or 2 per family, because they want to control population growth. They don't want to go through the stress we are going through now. They want to make sure that their roads are not regularly destroyed by reason of massive or intense usage as a result of overpopulation. So when there is an increase in childbirth and maybe by reason of massive education on child mortality, death is reduced, child death is reduced.
So we have more children
are being introduced,
and less children
and less deaths as a result of improved health care, improved maternal mother-child health care. So when less people die and meanwhile more people are being born, the chances of increase in population will occur.
I'm going to digress a little bit.
Okay.
This is cheap gossip, but please don't mind me. So is that what is prevalent in China? Because to some extent, or to what is portrayed, I've never been to China, but you see that there are elderly people live for so long, and then they are populated, and then they give birth. They're also very fertile people.
They are very fertile people.
And then they keep giving birth.
They give birth, and the ones alive are not dying.
People are not dying.
So you see, the population will have no choice. There will be no alternative than overpopulation.
And you know, Nigerians, we are tough people.
And we are good in family upkeep. So because we are good in that, we have a very large population of young people, and young people are the fertile ones. Elderly people don't give birth. They don't give birth. So Nigeria has a population that's made up of about 65% young people, and young people are known genetically to be very fertile. And in a situation, in a country where there is so much economic hardship and there is so much unemployment and there is so much the living standards is very
low.
Very low. Young people tend to find pastime in procreation, and when they do, the population begins to expand. Now, we continue to campaign as SDG ambassador. We continue to campaign for improved health care, which is goal number 3. We continue to campaign for improved healthcare. When healthcare improves, less number of people die.
Which is a good thing, but then in this case,
with respect to population increase, it is not a good thing. It is not a good thing. So when less people die and more people come into the world, the particular geographical location, there will be increase, there will be expansion in the number of people living in that area. When there is when the increase is sustained over time, the chances of overpopulation occurring will be there.
Fantastic. So I'm going to move back now to urban migration, and which is what we are seeing here in Lagos. So let's talk about urban migrations and the reason for its occurrence.
Urban migration and the reason for its occurrence. You see, we are human beings, and nature, for those that are religious, God has given us the capacity to think. It is only a tree that even when it feels uncomfortable with a situation, there is nothing it can do about it with respect to movement. Even when there is bushfire, a tree can't move, despite the fact that it will feel the impact of that fire. But as human beings, when there is any sense of danger, or there is a sense a human being anticipates challenges or difficulties in his existence, there is this stuff that is placed in us naturally called the adrenaline. It will shoot up and it will warn you, there is danger ahead. It might be danger of hunger, drought, it might be danger, physical danger, whatever kind of danger. And the natural human reaction to danger is to move out, is to react to it, to protect itself. Now, when there is changes, we have spoken about climatic changes. When there are challenges that might be natural in a particular location, that challenge might be natural or man-made. It can be natural in the case of drought, it can be natural in the case of famine, it can be natural in the case of unforeseen, maybe earthquake, volcanic eruption, and things like that. It can be that. It can also be man-made when there is physical war, when there is war, intercommunal war in a particular geographical location, or when there is all manner of things. There are possibilities that can lead to people in a particular area becoming uncomfortable in that particular area and want to move to safety, if you understand what I mean. When they want to move to safety, they seek refuge in another location where they anticipate some kind of peace and tranquility. So those who do not have employment would want to move from an area where they perceive they don't have employment to an area where they have employment.
So employment now is what we call safety, so, right?
Yes.
Because it's a form of financial safety.
Yes, you become a little bit financially stable if you get good employment. If you get good employment, you become financially stable, you become financially secure. Now, if you leave a place of financial insecurity and seek greener pasture in a place you anticipate you're going to get some sense of financial security, you would have migrated. So these are the reasons why people actually migrate from one area to the other in search of peace and tranquility. That peace might be in terms of work, that peace might be in terms of physical security. In northern Nigeria, in northeastern Nigeria, we have a lot of terrorist activities going on there.
Right.
It is natural that people will leave that area and migrate to areas where there is some kind of peace and public order.
Funny enough, I lived in Borno State.
Aha, you are one of those that migrated. I've caught you. You are one of those.
Okay. From 2010 to 2012.
Wow.
I lived in Borno State. So yes, I can
say
I'm a case study now.
So now, beyond such a case is caused by humans. You understand? But there are places in northern Nigeria that have been overtaken by desert encroachment. The Sahara Desert. When a place that hitherto was fertile, suddenly all you have is sand dunes everywhere, white sand everywhere. The little waters they have, streams they have been covered up, and the sources of livelihood have been overtaken by the desert. What do? Naturally, a human being will move. A lot of our fellow citizens living around the Lake Chad region depended so much on the water around the Lake Chad But due to climatic conditions we have spoken about, ozone layer depletion, climate change, and so on, the Lake Chad, as we know it, has so much depleted. It continues to shrink so fast that today people are not able. It is no longer able to sustain the livelihood of the people that live around it. So people from that area again begin to move. And where do they move? They move southwards, because southwards is a little bit greener. Yeah. So people move for several reasons: natural reasons, man-made reasons. But the important thing is that people move. And the reason why they are moving is that they are seeking for peace and tranquility. They are seeking for comfort. They are seeking for better life for themselves. If you're a father, if you're a mother, you would not sit down. I used to know a particular location in southern Nigeria, in Akwa Ibom State, for example, particularly, specifically. That area used to have, there used to be a community there, a village there with schools and some other infrastructures there. But today, that village has been eaten by the ocean. So that place that used to be a village before is now part of Nigeria's territorial waters. It's a massive body of water. You can't even, is water now.
And I think
water.
that would have
so
been
the people
a
there would
gradual
have,
process.
it would have been a gradual process. It happened here in Victoria Island, but for the quick intervention of the government through the Atlantic City, they arrested the situation. If they didn't arrest the situation, by now there would not have been Victoria Island. That is given some 7, 8, 10 years ago. Ahmadu Bello Way was eaten. The Babish had moved right beyond Ahmadu Bello Way. But by the special grace of God, the government intervened, built the Atlantic City, and that has been arrested.
Okay, it's now that we have settled overpopulation, we've talked about what causes it, and now let's move on to the effects. Now, a particular place that becomes overpopulated, what are the effects? And then I would say this in view because where there are more people, like I said at the beginning, there is more waste production. Generally. And that's the reason I'm having this conversation with you. Now that taking Lagos as the focal point, when a place is overpopulated, what are the effects with waste management in view?
Yeah, having agreed that naturally waste will increase with increased population, but beyond issue of waste, there's going to be pressure on the location's infrastructure, the drainages, housing. In fact, every aspect of life in that community, in that location, in that local government, in that state, every single aspect of life in that state will be affected because there's going to be challenges in managing different infrastructure. So we take, for instance, overflooding. We take, for instance, flooding is as a result of actions of so many people being in a particular area. Why? Because when there is so many people in a particular area, they'll generate so much waste naturally, as we have agreed. And when they generate so much waste without sufficient education, waste management education, without sufficient information, awareness as to how to manage this waste, the drainages get piled up, get blocked by reason of the activities of human beings. I was just across the road here. A house is being remodeled, a house is being reconstructed, and the tipper, the truck coming with sand and gravel, they poured the sand. They couldn't get into the compound, so they poured the sand from where they were parked, and the entire gravel and sand blocked the drainage over there. Now they are done with using those gravels and sands, but they didn't remove. The drainage is now blocked.
So they failed to take out those things.
Those things as a result of their activities because they are in a hurry. You understand? And it is something that we see every day. Now, in addition to the challenges with respect to drainages, there's challenges with respect to traffic. Because when the population is much, so many road users will be on the road at the same time. So there is problem of traffic. Now, in addition to the problem of traffic, is the constant deterioration of the road itself. The road will continue to wear out because the population is much.
Especially in land that never sleeps. Come out by 3:30 a.m.
Everywhere is filled up. The people are already on the road as early as 3:30, 4 a.m. So the challenge, the effects is everywhere. It is in the hospitals because the hospitals are now overstretched. The schools are now overstretched. You get to any of the primary schools, take them randomly. Get to any of the primary schools, any of the secondary schools, any of the hospitals. You'll find more population beyond the capacity of that institution to carry, to withstand.
Okay, so let's focus on the waste now.
Now,
how do we dispose waste? We're already producing an outrageous amount of waste. So how do we
control waste in Lagos, using Lagos as a focal point? Now, we have agreed that population increase brings about increase in waste. The best way to control this is through awareness and education. It is only people who are environmentally conscious that can control how they manage waste. If people are not environmentally conscious, if people are not educated or enlightened or exposed in terms of environment, in the olden days, the communities have what they call, say, evil forests. We have come to know that those places were not actually evil forests, but were opportunities for the village, for the community to replenish itself. So when there is so much activities in a particular area, they designate certain places. Today we call them conservation areas, but those days they didn't have to call it conservation area, they called it evil forest. Now with increase in population, we don't have those spaces anymore. With increase in population, so many actions are taking place at the same time that people are not able to manage. So there is no education. Without education, people are not able to know the do's and the don'ts. They don't know the right things to do and the wrong things that they are doing. They are not able to distinguish between them. So we cannot be able to live a sustainable life when the people are not generally educated. So I have seen lifestyles that the people exhibit lifestyles that are not sustainable. We have mentioned, for example, before, people who acquire wealth indiscriminately and they exhibit this wealth indiscriminately, and in a bid to show wealth, they buy more than is necessary for them to consume.
How can one person own 10 cars?
10 cars.
And then your first son is riding one, the last born has been taken to school in
that's
one,
exactly what I'm trying to say.
You and your entourage are going out with 2-3 cars. So at the end, one family has 10 cars on the road. Imagine
you
Lagos.
Cannot acquire these things because you have the resources. That means that you are not environmentally exposed. That means you lack waste management education. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure coming here because there is no day I come and I don't learn. And I hope you all at home have learned as well. This episode was just about teaching you as an individual what you can do. How you can contribute to living sustainably. Let's not ruin Lagos, our beautiful Lagos that we love. Let's not ruin the earth that has been doing such a good job in harboring us. My name is Success Camless. Make sure you're following iBrandTV on all social media platforms for more entertaining and informative content such as this. Until we come your way next time, it's bye-bye.